So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, where I wasn't going to do my review for the Black Ops 4 beta until tomorrow, but seeing as today my internet's not being that great, so I can't stream the game, and it's also not being that great in terms of just playing it in general online, I guess I'll just do my beta review today, speak about the pros and cons of the Black Ops 4 beta, and just to give you my overall thoughts and opinions on this beta. So first of all, I do want to say that as far as the beta goes, as a general game, I actually really enjoyed playing it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I want to play it more, and we still have until tomorrow to play it, because at the moment I'm recording this on Sunday evening, so I might be playing it tonight, I might be playing it tomorrow as well if I get time to, but I'm still finding it really enjoyable, which is a good sign, because the beta has only been out for a couple of days, so if I'm already bored of the game, that's not good, because this game's meant to have like a longevity to it. But it was fun to play, and it also brought my friends back together into me and them playing together again, because I haven't played with my friends for quite a while, so this beta was definitely like a great way for that to happen. The gameplay to me felt a lot like an older style Call of Duty, purely for the fact that there's no futuristic jumping or anything, so it looks aesthetically like Black Ops 3, but it felt more like a Black Ops 2 game. You can still slide, but you can't boost jump, which is a really good advancement in my opinion. I hated the boost jump system, and I'm glad they've gone back to just a standard boost on the ground, and you can jump quite high up, to be fair, so if you have a high ledge you can hold your A or X button and you can jump, but other than that, like, you can't like double jump or anything else. You can't just like fly around in a jetpack, although there are certain things with certain specialists which make it so that you can like grapple hook and certain things like that, but it's not too far-fetched, and it's not gone the same route as say Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare did. So with that, I love the fact the game felt so nice and fresh, and I love the fact there was no futuristic movement to it. They only gave us a few number of maps, so I think there was like 5 or 6 maps that we played. So of course you get to play those same maps over and over and over again, and you very quickly get accustomed to them. And I think in general, like with Call of Duty, multiplayer is just multiplayer, and every year there's only so much they can do to change it up. Because we've had multiplayer in Call of Duties for the longest time, I don't really know where they can change it, but I love playing these betas, not because I'm a multiplayer guy, but it's because it gives me an idea of what guns are going to be in the game, what perks they're going to introduce, and the overall movement system and the overall like feel of the game itself. And with that, I'm still happy with Black Ops 4, and I like the way it's going. And the fact we're going to get a Blackout beta in September at some point is also going to be awesome to see as well, to see exactly how that plays out, seeing whether it's similar to the multiplayer style, or seeing if it's more towards like a different style that we've not seen before in Call of Duty, because obviously like having a Battle Royale game mode in Call of Duty is something Call of Duty's not done before. So it's going to be different, and I hope they don't adopt the same playstyle as multiplayer does in Call of Duty, because again, multiplayer is so outdated at this point. No matter what they do with it, eventually it'll just be the same game as you bought last year and the year before. Now, something a lot of people didn't know whether to be happy or not about was the self-healing mechanic. When they first told us that they would no longer have an automatic self-regeneration with your health, and they said instead you have to heal yourself by pressing a certain button. And in this case, it's the L1 button on PlayStation or LT on Xbox, but that's the button you use to actually self-heal yourself when it's recharged and when you're like down on health. And the way it works is, when you need to heal yourself, simply like if you go red screen, if you get shot a couple times, just simply press L1 and you'll inject yourself. It's a very quick process. It takes like a split second. You inject yourself, you like your health starts to regenerate slowly, so you don't get like 80 to 150 health straight away. If you go from 80 to 150, it will do it over a few seconds. So you have to make sure when you press L1 that when you do the animation to inject yourself, you have to make sure you actually wait a few seconds before you get full health. But overall, because they give you 150 health in this game, I actually didn't find the health that much of an issue. So in previous Call of Duties, you'd have 100 health, and that would be like your health bar, if you will. And in this game, you can actually see other players' health bars as well, and they actually have 150 health. So you have half the amount of health more so than you have in previous Call of Duties, which basically means that you don't die as easy. And guns, like, you know, you'd have to spray more ammo into them basically, which, you know, in one way could be a bit annoying if you're trying to get if you're trying to get a kill, but you can't because they keep on sponging the shots. But you can see their health bar, and it also makes for an interesting fight because you have to try and put in half the amount more of bullets into them to try and kill them, which makes for interesting gunfights because it's more intense, because you're doing it for like 2 seconds longer or something. You're shooting them for a little bit longer, which makes it more intense, which means it's a couple seconds more that your teammates can come over and give you a hand, or vice versa, where their teammates come along and they spray into you as well. So in that regard, you have to play more with your team, and you can't just be on your own unless you're like a really good player. You have to stick with your team to make sure that you can almost team up on the individual and then get them like killed. I personally think that the health system, whether it's 100, whether it's 150, whether it's 50 or whatever they want to do, as long as every player on the map has the same amount of health to begin off with no like damage or anything, then it's obviously going to be equal. So in that regard, it doesn't really matter too much. I just wanted to mention it in this video because a lot of people's been talking about it and they don't like the fact that they have more health because they start sponging more bullets, but you also have the ability to sponge more bullets if they shoot you in the leg or something. If you shoot the enemy in the head, that will do a lot of damage, and like a couple bullets will kill him in the head. But in order to get that quick kill, you have to be really good and you have to make sure your aim is good to actually get him in the head in the first place. So it's more skill based in my opinion. However, while we're on the subject of health, I want to bring up the fact that there's, I don't know what it is exactly called. I think it's just called armor. But when you shoot certain people in multiplayer, they have this armor on, or we can call it jug, or however you like to describe it. And when you shoot them, like a little armor plate comes up on screen and you know they have that armor. The issue with this is because they already have 150 health, then they have this armor which gives them extra health. Then it's basically a lot harder to kill these people, and when you don't have that armor, it does unbalance it a little bit, and this could be good for like new players, but the issue is that players who like to play the game really seriously and they use it to their advantage, like they use it, and it's just hard to kill those players because they're probably pretty good at the game, but they're also using that on top of, so it makes it harder to kill them. I think overall that should be removed from the game altogether. I don't like the idea of armor. I think in Call of Duty 4, when they had Jug as an actual perk, it was different because it's a perk, but this armor is not a perk. It's like an attachment to your body. So you can have your perks still, your 3 slots of perks, but then you also have this armor on top as well. Whereas in Modern Warfare, when they had Jug, it was literally like your perk 1 slot, I think, or you perked whichever one was the red one. It was one of your perk slots, and they had some other good perks in that same slot as well. So you had to choose between like health, or you had to choose between like something else that was really going to help you out in battle. So you had like not a lot to choose from, but it was minimalistic, but it really worked well for it. However, here you can choose your perk and then you can choose your armor as well. And I just think the armor is so overpowered at this point, unless they decide to bring the health of the armor down a little bit. It's just really overpowered. Well, not overpowered, but it's just like unfair. If you're like in a gunfight and you start shooting them and then they manage to get a better shot on you, and also because they have armor, like it's harder to kill them. You will definitely need more people like in your team, like helping you out there. Like I say, I think armor in general should just be removed from the game. I don't want to rant about it by any means, so I don't want to make a separate video about it. But I definitely do agree that it's not something that will make the game any better for anyone. I think it will make the experience of playing multiplayer in Black Ops 4 just a little bit more annoying. I think a few players will like probably rage at little things like the armor system and stuff. But overall, I still think that with or without the armor, it will still be a good game regardless. Something else I wanted to bring up is that we played a lot of like different game modes. Mainly I played Team Deathmatch, but when I was playing with my friends, we'd be playing like Domination, or whatever you call it in this game, Headquarters, or I don't know what they call it in Black Ops 4, but you're playing that type of game where you have to like capture certain areas and you have to hold that area, so you have to defend that area. Again, I know this is the beta, so hopefully it won't go in the full game, and this is what the beta is here to prevent in the full game. But in the beta, we were playing on certain maps, and like you'd have like area A, B, and C, and you spawn in and you can only see area B on your map and in person as well. So when you run over to where A and C are meant to be, they just don't spawn in. You can capture it by just standing on the area and waiting for it to load, but sometimes it won't even tell you how long you got to for it to load. And also, we had it where my mates told me that we captured it, but then when I looked on my screen, it still said that we were capturing it. It was in the progress of capturing it rather than actually captured. So it's a bit glitchy in those game modes in that regard, I guess. And again, I know that this is the beta, so I'm not going to bash on about that type of thing too much, but I definitely wanted to like talk about it because it is still something in the game that's gone wrong in terms of like whether it's a glitch or whether it's a mechanic fault or something. That's still something in the beta that's happened in the beta. I feel like it's affected a lot of people as well, because sometimes like we'd have like an area, like we'd say capture A, and then the other team just will not capture A, and I feel like that's because they couldn't see it on the map, which means that like one team has like a big advantage depending on if they're lucky enough to spawn in, being able to see the certain like where the flags are. The only way you know where they are if they hasn't spawned your minimap is by knowing where they are like off the top of your head. Obviously with these all being new maps, we have no idea what the spawns are for these flags, but you generally get one on each side of the spawn and you get one in the middle. So that's how it generally goes, but unless you know where they are. then you can't see where they are. The guns in the beta, from what I've used, so I didn't use all the guns in the beta, but I definitely used a good amount of the guns, and overall I'd say the guns are quite well balanced as well. Again, a lot of them you need to know how to use the guns properly, so you need to know how to aim for the head, otherwise it will take quite a few more bullets to actually kill another enemy. But I think most of the guns were quite fairly well balanced. There were a couple that I found that were quite overpowered, so you had like the swordfish, which is like a 5-round burst gun. That seems to kill enemies within like 1, maybe 2 bursts. Especially if you aim for the head, it will be a 1 burst kill. I never used the shotguns, but I have heard from quite a few people that the shotguns were pretty terrible. I've yet to actually use them, so I don't know, and I couldn't tell you for sure, but that's what I've been told. And there's a gun, I think it was called the MX-9. I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure it's the MX-9. It's an assault rifle or an submachine gun, I can't remember which one it is, but that was a really good gun. I used it quite a lot as well. Then we had the AN-57, which is the KN-44. No, it's the KN-57, sorry. Not the AN. AN-94, which is the KN-57 in Black Ops 4. That's basically the AK-47 anyway. That was a really cool gun to use. I didn't use it that much because I've already seen it in like every other COD that's ever existed. But that was a cool gun again to see return because it's like quite iconic by this point. And there were a few other guns that were also pretty cool to use as well. Again, I didn't snipe in the beta, but like I heard that the beta, for some reason with the snipers, they don't have the character lock on it. So with most guns, when you aim, you have like the weapon lock on them. Whereas with the snipers, apparently it doesn't work and it doesn't have any sort of lock to them. So that's a little bit unfair for the snipers. But at the same time, like when you're using a sniper, I think they turn off the lock so that people don't quick scope or no scope as much, because that's sort of something that ruins like a lot of multiplayer games. I feel like Call of Duty are trying to clamp down on that so they don't give it to the snipers. But that's just what I've heard anyway. I've not tried out the sniper, so again, I can't really tell you. Just like with the shotguns, I can't tell you 100% whether that's actually true or not. It was cool to see that most of the perks on the game so far that they've released to us that we're actually able to play with in the beta, most of the perks are actually old perks that we've seen before from games like World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. So that was cool to see again. I actually recognise quite a lot of them, even though I haven't played multiplayer in a long time. The last time I played multiplayer in any Call of Duty was Black Ops 3. So I haven't played multiplayer in Infinite Warfare or World War 2, apart from the betas in those games. So it was cool to see perks and actually recognise them after having like 2-3 years off of playing multiplayer. And I guess the final point I want to make is that the beta servers were good for the first day. The second day that I played it, they were absolutely terrible, but then they picked up after like an hour or so maybe. So I was trying to stream it and there was just like stupid amounts of lag, and I mean, I tested out my internet and everything, and even though I was streaming, like the internet was proving to be fine, but it was just the actual like servers themselves. And I heard from a few other people as well that the servers were being up and down. So certain points they were really good, and other points they were being really bad. I saw quite a few people saying that Black Ops 3 servers were a lot better than the Black Ops 4 servers. Maybe it's because it's a beta and it has a lot of glitches and stuff still. It's still a new game, so I wouldn't bash it too much for the fact that it has like bad servers at this point, but that's definitely something that will make or break a game, especially when it's so multiplayer orientated. Because even when you look at something like zombies, you still have like a very big part of the community who will play it in a multiplayer style. But that's everything for the multiplayer beta. Obviously, I will be playing it and streaming it again next weekend when it's coming out again, because basically tomorrow's the last day, and then next weekend it will be out for the Xbox people. No doubt there'll be more things that they will add into it. So yesterday they added in Search and Destroy. Today they added in Kill Confirmed. Next week they'll probably add in either new guns, new perks, new maps, or new game modes. So that'll be cool to see. And it will just be something cool to like play with when it's on the beta, but something new. September they're releasing the beta for Blackout, which is going to be awesome as well. Can't wait for Blackout. I think that's going to be more like hyped in my opinion. It's more anticipated by people, so excited to see that. And I will be playing the Blackout beta as well, and I also will be doing a review on the Blackout beta as well. I'm sure it's going to go well, but I can't talk 100% until I actually play it, because we haven't even seen the gameplay properly for like Blackout, so who knows how that's going to go. But anyway, that's going to be the end for this video, so thank you so much for watching. If you like, then please make sure to leave a like rating, subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty content around here, and comment down below for any comments you may have or you may want to add on to this review. I want to say thank you so much for watching the video, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.